Well, that's not the way you want to end the losing streak on a very, very, very sour note. Well, end the winning streak, actually. Phillies lose their first game in a while. We knew they were going to lose at some point, but not this way. Not getting blown out by the Diamondbacks in the final game of the series. Yeah, you win the series, so at the end of the day, that is the most important thing. But there are some things that do concern me with this loss. Ranger Suarez, to be specific, also the defense as well. Offense, maybe they were due for a game where they went quiet because they were just so red hot during this winning streak. So I guess they were just due. But right now, at the end of the day, your winning streak is over. And now, I guess at the end of the day, you throw this game out in the trash and you look to tomorrow. You look to your next series against the Miami Marlins. They're losing right now currently to the Houston Astros. Their winning streak is most likely going to get snapped. So you're going to have two teams that are coming off their first losses in a while. It's going to be a tough series. Phillies, we all know the Marlins are their kryptonite. Two of their better pitchers, or two of their better pitchers, and two of the best pitchers, honestly, in the National League. You're going to be facing them two times this week. Monday and Wednesday. Alcantara tomorrow, their ace, and then Pablo Lopez on Wednesday. I believe Rogers is on the mound on Tuesday for Miami. He's also a really good pitcher, but he hasn't been as good as he was last year. But still, we all know the pitching staff for Miami is really, really good. And the team, they give the Phillies a lot of fits. They've been giving them a lot of fits for the past so many years now. Now's the time to prove it to us that you can get over that hump in Miami, that you can get over, that drought to where you struggle to play against that team. Take what you did in the winning streak, bring it against Miami tomorrow back at home. Because I'm not going to, harp on this loss. I'm not going to be the Negadelphia fan that most likely came out today and said, "Oh, this is who the Phillies actually are. This is the team that this is who they are. I've known this team for a while. This is what they actually are." That team during the 9-game win streak, that was a facade. That wasn't actually who they were. A 9-game sample size isn't enough to tell me what this team is. But then when the Phillies go out and lose 5 straight, oh, this team is who they are. They're a terrible team, blah, 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 blah. That's the way Negadelphian fans are at this point. And just especially over the course of the 9-game winning streak, there have been so many people that I've seen on Twitter just like, this is not who the Phillies actually are. Just wait till, don't fall for it. Oh, don't do this, don't do that, because, the Phillies are the Phillies and they're eventually going to fall. I'm like, how do you enjoy yourself then? Are we not allowed to have fun during a 9-game winning streak? Like, how do you enjoy yourself as a sports fan? That's the question mark right there. How do you not enjoy yourself? I get some people are probably frustrated because the Phillies are going on a winning streak at the same time as the Atlanta Braves, and the Atlanta Braves just won their 11th straight game, so they're red hot as ever. I can get the frustration on that point, but the Phillies weren't going to win every game down the stretch. Come on, be realistic, people. They're going to lose games. There's still a lot of season left. It's going to be a lot of wins. There's going to be a lot of losses. That's what 162 games are for. Right now, this team, with the easier schedule coming up, they need to take advantage of it. They're still in the mode where the team does have to prove it to us, regardless of how fun this, 9-game winning streak has been. And it's been really fun. The 9-game winning streak was really fun. Ended on a really sour note tonight. But you have a chance, throw this game out completely in the trash. Throw it out. Don't bend on it. Don't, harp on it. Go out. Just basically come out 24 hours tomorrow and play the Miami Marlins. That's all you can do at this point. Throw that game in the trash. Come right back to the game tomorrow. That's all you can do at this point. Still a very long season ahead of you. You're back at 500, so basically you're starting back from scratch. And it's the same thing that Rob Thompson pointed out. Okay, now that we're at 500, we want to get 5 games over 500. And then when we get the 5 games over 500, we want to get the 10 games over 500. So you're setting yourself goals basically going up for the rest of the season. So that's something that can keep a team in line going down the rest of the way. This team believes in Rob Thompson right now, and they've shown it more times than not that they've played better baseball over this stretch. Today, not that case. Bad pitching, bad defense. Offense went quiet, even though technically I think the offense was due to go quiet for one game, especially over this long stretch that they've had with, mashing the ball basically. There are some concerns from this game, though. and I'll get to those in a little bit. So before we get into everything else, everyone, welcome back to TTP Sports. And if you were looking for the latest Philadelphia sports news recaps and events, I definitely recommend hitting that subscribe button. This is a great place to be at, depending on the outcome, great or miserable, depending on the outcome. And if you are a current viewer of the channel, I am grateful for you being here that long and looking to continue down the road. And if you're looking for tickets to upcoming sporting events, concerts, whatever you can think of, use the code TTP Sports down below for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. So that could be tickets to any upcoming Phillies home game, road trip, whatever you can think of. $20 avoids the fees from SeatGeek. Free $20 in your pocket. Use it for parking, concessions, anything you can think of. Great deal. Do not pass up on it. Use the code TTP Sports for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek today. So Phillies lose, get blown out by the Arizona Diamondbacks in the final game of this series by a score of 13-1. Phillies record 30-30. Game today kind of reminded me of Joe Girardi baseball. Bad pitching, bad defense, offense went quiet. Kind of had a resemblance of Joe Girardi being in the dugout. Now this team has to prove that's not the case. You come back tomorrow, play Miami, and prove to us that you can, beat them. Get over that kryptonite of Miami. Prove that to us. Because now you're at that stretch to where you can't go on extended losing streaks. You lose this game, come back and win a couple of more games in a row. Win a stretch of 5 out of 6. Win a stretch of 4 out of 5. Don't go, 9-game winning streak, then go lose 5 straight. Don't lose 6 straight. You got to go on stretches here. If you lose 1 game or 2 games in a row, follow that up with 4 straight wins, 5 straight wins, win, 6 out of 7, 6 out of 8, something like that. You got to do that more consistently going down towards the rest of the season, especially when your schedule does get easier. So right now, they're still in that stage where they do it to prove it to us. But I'm not going to go overly Negadelphian like a lot of people do. Not going to do that. It's not the way I roll things. Definitely not. So basically, first inning, I guess it's summarized what this game was going to be because Ranger Suarez struggled really early on. He got into a lot of 2-strike counts, got ahead of a lot of batters in this first inning, but for some reason just couldn't get guys out. Defense definitely wasn't help either. Walks the first guy after getting up ahead in the count 0-2, allows a single, and then basically this is the mistake by Alec Bohm in this situation. Marte grounds to him. Alec Bohm probably should have, decided to tag the runner out going to third base. Instead, doesn't tag him, tries to throw to second, I guess to try to get the double play. Just was a bad decision entirely by Alec Bohm. That's got to be better. Walker then lines out. So you get a 1-out situation, double play and still intact. No runs allowed right here. And then you get the picturesque ending in a double play right here. Smith, just a chopper right back to Ranger Suarez, right back into his glove, throws it to home plate. JT misses it. JT completely misses it, and that's got to be much better from JT. I don't know how he misses that ball. I don't know. That's just a routine play right there to get a double play. The easy, was it 1, 2, 3 double play from home plate to first base? It's got to be made by JT. JT cannot miss that ball. He just can't. I know at the plate, technically, he had 3 hits, but he also came up, little in a certain situation later on in the ballgame with the bases loaded. So 2 runs score on that situation because JT misses the ball and it goes behind them. 2 runs score. Suarez walks the next guy. And then a ground out, which scores another run, makes it a 3-0 Diamondbacks lead. The inning does eventually end on the next batter, though. But basically, throughout this ball game, Phillies have their chances. They make it a 3-1 ball game in the bottom of the 4th inning. Alec Bohm with an RBI single. But then you go to the top of the 5th. Diamondbacks instantly respond. RBI double by Walker makes it 4-1. Then you go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Kyle Schwarber walks. Rhys Hoskins walks. Bryce Harper got lucky on this play. Error by Rojas at third base. Everyone's safe. 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. So you get bases loaded out there. Diamondbacks decide to change the pitcher. Nick Castellanos comes up to the plate. Terrible at bat. Takes the first pitch for a strike. Swings at the next 2 pitches and strikes out on 3 pitches. Nick Castellanos really looks like he's pushing it. Looks like he's trying to do a little too much out there. He's frustrated with himself. Got to be better. Got to be better in that situation. JT Realmuto. 1-2 count. Fouls off a couple of pitches, and he strikes out. So 2 chances with the bases loaded, 1 out. Nothing comes home. And then what did the Diamondbacks do the very next inning? they make you pay for it. Nelson out there on the mound, walks the guy. So he gets 2 outs. He gets 2 outs before everything happens here. Hits the second guy with 2 outs. So you got 2 runners on base. Rojas gets an RBI single, scores a run, makes it 5-1. Marte walks. So you get a bases loaded situation. Walker singles, scores a couple of runs, 7-1 ball game. Bilotti comes in. He walks the first batter he sees. RBI walk with the bases loaded by Kelly. Makes it an 8-1 ball game. So that's the Phillies bullpen walked a lot of guys today. I believe they had 10 walks in total, 11 walks in total, or something like that, including a hit batter. So yeah, efficiency not there today. Just completely not there. Basically, from there, ball game was over. Diamondbacks scored a couple of more runs in the 10th. Top of the 8th, they score a couple of more runs as well. Norwood was out there on the mound. 7th inning, Jose Alvarado was out there on the mound. He was called back up. Sanchez was sent back down. So Jose Alvarado's back into the fix. Top 9. Now you see Garrett Stubbs out there on the mound. Garrett Stubbs. So you're going to the position player when you're getting blown out. Honestly, he gave up a home run, made it 13-1, but still overall, he was your best reliever. And I'm going to put it lightly there. He was still technically your best reliever out there, and that's not good. That is not good whatsoever. So basically, it was a very, just overall bad ball game. Bad ball game entirely. Lineup today, a lot of the other guys, the bigger names, went very quiet. Kyle Schwarber goes 0-3 with a walk. Rhys Hoskins goes 0-3, 2 walks and 2 strikeouts. Bryce Harper goes 0-4 with a strikeout. Nick Castellanos 0-3, 3 strikeouts. JT Realmuto, stat line tells you he had a good day at the plate, but came up short in that bases loaded situation. He goes 3-4. Didi Gregorius, 1-3. Alec Bohm, 1-4 with an RBI. Bryson Stott, 1-3 with a walk. And Mickey Moniak, 0-4 with 3 more strikeouts to his clip. Runners in scoring position. Phillies go 1-8. They leave 10 runners on base. And looking at the pitching today, Ranger Suarez. This is the major thing that's been concerning me out of Ranger Suarez this year. He's had a couple of good starts. He has. Had a good start in Los Angeles against the Dodgers. His last start against Milwaukee was really good. And I believe he had a start in Miami that was really good this year as well. But basically, besides that, it has not been good for Ranger Suarez. Not good whatsoever. Getting pitch count high early in the ball games. Struggling on in the early innings. Can barely go past 4. Sometimes can't even surpass 5. He had a couple of games in a row where he only lasted 3-4 innings. He has not been good this year. The location has been really off. He's not striking out as many batters as he did last year. He's walking a lot more guys. He's not getting the swings and misses that he did last year, too. And I think that's one of the major things that's really, hindering him this year is his strikeout percentage. Or his swing and miss. If you look at some of the analytics this year with Ranger Suarez, because it's just been really, 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 really bad. I'm trying to see where I found this one stat at because I'm trying to see where that was. I remember someone bringing it up earlier on Twitter. I'm trying to find that right here. I see a lot of stuff on JT Realmuto. Here we go. So Rangers' swinging strike percentage is down 3% from last year. And he's really just not, he's not getting the swings and misses. Not at all. He's struggling with 2 strikes. He had a lot of 2-strike counts in that first inning before everything happened. Wasn't able to get those guys out. Sometimes on 2 strikes right now, it looks like he's kind of getting predictable. Can't locate. Not getting the calls sometimes that he did last year. Maybe he's getting frustrated with himself. So right now, got to figure it out. Ranger Suarez, though, he is concerning me, though. Not sure if Dave Dombrowski, trade deadline, maybe he shops for another starter. Maybe a move Ranger back to the bullpen. Maybe he can find some confidence in there. I know that's still a long ways away. But right now, Ranger Suarez is, concerning me a little bit. Nick Nelson, inning and a third, 2 hits allowed, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 1 strikeout. Bilotti got 1 out in his situation to walk 2 guys. Alvarado, 1 inning, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks. Norwood, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk. And Stubbs, 1 inning, 1 hit, and that was it. Stubbs was basically your best pitcher out there. So yeah, overall, you had 11 walks in this ball game. That is not good. That is not good whatsoever. But not going to harp on this game. I'm disappointed in this game entirely, but I'm not going to go crazy. If they start doing this consistently again, that's where I'm going to get really frustrated. So if you look at this upcoming, games right here, Miami for the next 3. Aaron Nola, Zack Eflin, Kyle Gibson are going to be on the mound for these 3 games. Alcantara for the Marlins, he's going to be on the mound in the first game against Aaron Nola. He's been fantastic this year. 6-2, a 1.61 ERA, 77 strikeouts, and a .94 WHIP. He's been dominant, absolutely dominant. Cy Young candidate most likely this year. He's been absolutely dealing. And looking at his last couple of games, against Washington, they won 2-1. That game, Miami, he went 9 innings that game, struck out 6. San Francisco, Miami won that game. He struck out 8, won 7 innings, allowed 4 hits. In a win against Atlanta, went 8 innings, struck out 14, allowed 4 hits and 1 earned run. The games against Washington and San Francisco, he didn't allow a run. Another game against Atlanta, he went 9 innings, got a complete game there, 6 hits allowed, 7 strikeouts. Washington went 8 innings, allowed 3 hits, 5 strikeouts. Overall, he's been absolutely fantastic this year for Miami. And then the next couple of games, you're going to have Rogers out there on the mound, Trevor Rogers out there. His stats this year, he's 3-5 with a 5.58 ERA. So he definitely hasn't been good as he was last year, a whip of 1.54. So he's been struggling a bit this year. That's a game to take advantage of. He did win his last start against Washington, though. But in his previous, he lost the 3 previous to that. Against Colorado, he only went 3 2/3 innings. A start against Atlanta, he only went 5. And a start against Atlanta again, he went 4, 8 hits allowed, 5 earned runs, 3 earned runs, 5 earned runs. So he's prone to blow up this year. But then if you go to Pablo Lopez for the Marlins, he is 4-2 with a 2.30 ERA, 72 strikeouts, and a whip of 1.02. Looking at his past couple of starts against Houston, didn't go deep into the ballgame, but he technically got the win. 4 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 5 strikeouts. He definitely isn't as dominant as he was in the first couple of months of the season, but he's still a really good pitcher out there. Start against San Francisco, he went 7 innings, struck out 6, allowed 4 earned runs. Game against Colorado, he went 6 innings, allowed 3 hits, no earned runs. Game against Tampa Bay, he went 7 innings, struck out 8, allowed 4 runs. Game against Washington, only went 3 innings in that ball game, though. So, right here, and it says right here, status as of 2 days ago. Lopez has been diagnosed with a right wrist contusion after exiting Friday's game against the Astros. Jordan McPherson of Miami Herald reports. So, okay, that's probably why he left that Houston game early. But it says right here he's due for that start against the Phillies. So, I guess until we figure out later on if he's not going to start, right now you're going up against Miami's best right here. So, we got to see here. We got to see what happens. Got to get over that hump at Miami. And then after this, you're going to have a 5-game series against the Nationals. Nationals are not a good team. A doubleheader on Friday. And basically overall, like I said, a 5-game series. 7 o'clock on Thursday, doubleheader on Friday, 4:30 on Saturday, and at 12 o'clock on Sunday. Zack Wheeler, Ranger Suarez. You're basically going to be seeing everyone this series besides Kyle Gibson because most likely one of the doubleheaders on Friday will probably be a bullpen game from both teams. That's most likely going to happen there just because doubleheader and everything like that. So that's most likely there. So you got to bounce back from this loss, throw it in the garbage, and respond tomorrow. Respond this series against Miami. Prove it to us right here. Prove it to us that you can beat Miami. That's what I'm trying to stress. I'm not going to go overboard today, but if the stretch of losing, if it starts into a stretch of losing where you're going back to that bad baseball, that's where I'm going to get frustrated. That's where I'm going to get angry with this team. Because you showed us over this past stretch of 9 games that you could play good baseball, that your pitching was solid, that your offense was solid, and everything was clicking. Find a way to do that consistently. That's what I'm going to stress right here. I see some people in the chat right here. I see Sean. Haven't talked to you in a while, Sean. That's the Girardi style of ball today. No defense, can't put the ball in play at critical times, and subpar pitching. Can't win consistently if you fail fundamentally consistently. Scott says, let's enjoy what we've seen over the past week tomorrow with the Marlins. Nola and Alcantara should be a classic matchup. Looks like fun times at Citizens Bank Ballpark. Fun ends if they can't beat Miami, which they never seem to do. Watch the Phillies now lose 8 of their next 10 games. Problem is with getting a start off the deadline is the Phillies have nothing to offer in a deal. So you're taking the side of negativity, I see here, Sean. I can definitely see that from your comments right here. I'm not going to go on the side of negativity because, yes, I know in the first 2 months they showed us a lot of bad baseball. They did. They showed us a lot of bad baseball. But right now, over this stretch, the team looked like they had a different, feel to them. They played better baseball. Defense wasn't as bad. Pitching was really good. The bullpen was good. And your offense was clicking. You got to find a way to do that consistently. You got to find a way. I'm not going to harp on the side of negativity right now. I'm still going to stress they need to prove it to us. But I'm not going to say like what Rattle says right here, watch the Phillies lose 8 of their next 10. Not going to say that. Right now, they still got to prove it to us. Bryce Harper's still hot this month. Kyle Schwarber still hitting hot this month. Zack Wheeler, Nola, they've been really good. Zach Eflin, he's been good and he's been bad. Kyle Gibson, good and bad. Ranger Suarez right now is the starter with my one concern. Oh yeah, I'm not trying to point you out there, Sean. I'm just reading off of the comment. Just sounded a little negative right there. Yeah. I understand. Well, yeah, fundamentally, yeah. Right now, there are games when the team does lack fundamentals, but I do think as well when we see the bad defense, it happens in a lot of big spurts. Like when one thing goes wrong, another thing will go wrong 2 plays later, and then they'll go on a stretch where the defense is fine. Like Alec Boehm, he'll have that game where he makes an error, he makes a mistake, or he makes 2 mistakes in a row, and then he'll have a stretch where he's making plays that are simple. He's making plays like he did a couple of days ago, where he reached over the foul, fence and got made an out, made a couple of huge outs in the past couple of days. So, and I see Connor Thompson saying it's over, so I can see some Nicadelphians coming in here. I see a thing from Scott right here. It says it'll be important for the Phillies to take care of business against the Marlins and the Nationals. If not, then really nothing. Yeah, basically, like I said, I've stressed this over the past couple of days. You win this series against Arizona, which you did, but this stretch is also important because you have a team coming up in Miami that has been your Achilles heel over the past so many years. Find a way to beat them. I'm not stressing sweep. I'm stretching win the series, especially when you're going to have one of your better pitchers on the mound in Nola. You're also going to have Zach Eflin, who has shown when he is on his game, he has been really good. And you got to hope you're going to get a game when Zach Eflin is really good. His last start against Milwaukee, he battled. Wasn't one of his best starts. He battled, though, but didn't last far in the ball game. And I kind of seen that with Zach Eflin. When he has a bad start, he follows that up with a really good start. And I want to see Zach Eflin's career numbers against Miami, too. Because I remember, like, so many times, every time I see Zach Eflin pitch against Miami, he is normally good. So let me see against the Marlins with his record against them. I'm trying to see his record against the Miami Marlins, if I can find that. Let me see. Record. Zach Eflin record versus Marlins. Find that. Oh, here we go. When is this written? That was written in 2022. Okay. And 13 career starts against Miami. Okay, his numbers aren't that good against Miami. I thought I read it wrong then. 5-6, 4.75 ERA. Okay. Right now, your guys got to go out there and be good. Sean says Philly will eventually have to make a decision on Boehm. Do you see him as their third baseman 2 years from now? I do not. I do not see him as a third baseman from 2 years from now. I think, especially with everything upcoming, I know Rhys Hoskins' bat has been hot lately, but arbitration coming up this year, contract expiring, with his numbers, that's not going to convince anyone out there that he should be making money. The Phillies are going to definitely have a decision on Hoskins to make this year. And I know Dave Dombrowski is high on Alec Boehm. The front office is high on Alec Boehm. So it's most likely going to be a decision between those two. Maybe you see that's probably something that you discuss going into winter meetings, since you do have the control over Hoskins technically. That's probably more of a winter discussion right there in terms of what you're going to do with Rhys. Like you do say right here, I think Boehm should be moved over to third base in the not the third base, first base, when the inevitability of Rhys Hoskins, if he is on this team in the future or not. That's something that you'd have to think about right there. I think Bohm's still going to be here for the longer run. I know I know his bat is really slumping right here, but I do know there's potential within him. Like what Bryson Stott has been doing over this past month, I believe Alec Bohm has that in him. I believe he does. That body frame, the way he hits, he has the ability to hit for power. He has the ability to drive the ball. He's got to figure out how to do that consistently. Like what he did against Josh Hader in Milwaukee, with the way he drove that ball against him, he has the ability to do that. He needs to figure out how to do that consistently at the major league level. I know some players, it probably does take a little while longer than most people would like, because when we see Bryson Stott right now with the way, Rob Thompson has given him confidence, it's nice to see what, Bohm is doing here. Not Bohm, Stott. We got to find a way to see if Bohm can do this. Brian says, I knew it wasn't too good to be true, this winning streak we were on. They were eventually going to lose a game. We knew this. At the end of the day, yeah, we were all on the high and everything. This team is never going to lose a game again. They were eventually going to lose. I don't like the way they lost, though, because a lot like what Sean said earlier in the chat. It's the fundamentals right here, what Sean brought up earlier. They're going to have that game where, they make a couple of defensive mistakes and their pitching can execute. And that's exactly what happened today. Ranger Suarez wasn't able to execute. If JT Realmuto was able to make that play in the first inning to get the double play, you end the inning 0-0, and maybe that changes, the game for the rest of the way. It's a different ball game going into the bottom of the first 0-0 than going down 3-0. So that's something right there. Sean says Bohm's biggest problem offensively is minimal power playing at the corner position. Yeah. Right now, his biggest issue so far is he hasn't been able to show the power that he has. And I believe that power is in him. What is he, like 6'5" body frame? Like, he has power. He showcased he can drive the ball. I don't know what's the problem where he can't do that consistently. Has to figure it out, though. Has to figure it out. I'm high on Alec Bohm. I believe he could become a way better power hitter than he has shown. I guess it's patience that you have to have with him. I know there's a lot of other people that are very hard on Alec Bohm, which is very understandable. I talked to Hunter Brody a lot. He's very hard on Alec Bohm. It's not that he doesn't like him. It's that, he sees a lot of potential in Bohm and he believes it's in there. Sometimes you got to be hard on certain players for them to, get that thing out of them. Sometimes maybe that's the case. But I'm high on Alec Bohm. I think he could be a better hitter than what he's showing. His average has dropped a lot, though, since the beginning of the year. So if we go to Bohm right here, go to today's game so I can see it specifically. His average has, he did get the RBI single today. His average has dipped below 250. It's at 246 now. He got off to a very hot start this year. Been slumping a lot recently. And granted, Alec Bohm was never going to be on fire the entire season. I predicted that. But he's got to find a way to get out of this funk. Definitely does. Bryson Stott has showed that he can get out of the funk that he was in. He's getting more confidence from Rob Thompson. Got to figure it out. Mickey Moniak looks like he's pressing a little bit. A lot. And not a little bit, a lot. Moniak is. Striking out a lot. I was high on Moniak in spring training. Sadly, the injury that he got at the end of spring training really hindered everything that he probably could have did to win a starting chance this year. But right now, the major league level, Odubel Herrera has been hitting a lot better than Mickey Moniak. And Rob Thompson has no choice to put Odubel in the lineup over Moniak at this point. Because Odubel's hitting way better. Yeah. Exactly what I said, Sean. Moniak, the spring training legend, or do you think he finds his way after the injury? I hope Moniak finds his way. I honestly do. I think he's pressing way too much. I think he's basically doing what Stott was doing in the first couple of months. Pressing way too much, probably trying way too hard to hit a home run. What Stott's doing right here, you got to figure it out. Got to find a way. Stott, he had that problem in the first couple of months. Bryce, and he was trying to swing a little too hard, maybe swing for the fences. But then when he realized, I don't have to swing that hard to hit a home run in this league, there you go. His bat got better. He slowed down his bat, and now he's getting more hits. He's looking like a different batter so far. And sometimes, confidence from your manager does spread over a little bit. Right now, Moniak's got to find that. Same thing with Bohm. Brian says, do you think we could trade for the Angels' best pitcher, the Chinese? No, we are not trading for Shohei Ohtani. That is not going to happen. No way in hell that is not happening, Brian. Even Sean says it, an empathetic no. Oh, God. Trying to see anything else right here with this Phillies. Anything from, because I know with, the past couple of days with yesterday, why Christopher Sanchez was out there on the mound in the ninth inning was because Corey Knebel had some shoulder stiffness. I know in the broadcast they brought up he felt a lot better today, which maybe it's the best thing that they lost today. So, Corey Knebel can have an extra day of rest. But tomorrow we're definitely going to need a really good start from Aaron Nola. Really going to need one to rest some of these guys in the bullpen. I know guys like, Sir Anthony's most likely going to be available. Brogdon's going to be available. Some of the later inning guys are going to be available as well. Need to find a way. What comes first? Moniak gets a hit or the Flyers name a coach? Good question. With the Stanley Cup final, what is it, starting Wednesday? Flyers, there's a lot of reports that their finalists are out there, including Trotz and Tortorella. Maybe you see the Flyers hire a coach before Wednesday. Maybe that could happen. Because I know a lot of teams don't like to do things during the finals just to take away from the news or the hype of the final. Maybe the Flyers hire a coach in between. Maybe they do that. Well, we'll see, though. Definitely see. Is there anyone out there on the market you can get pitching wise? Nothing that comes to my head. If I'm talking about like starting pitchers, I think Dombrowski would probably do something like what he did last year with Kyle Gibson. You go for a guy that's more in the end part of your rotation, like a Kyle Gibson type of guy, a fourth or fifth type of rotation guy, most likely. And then maybe do you go for the option of maybe moving a guy like a Ranger Suarez back to the bullpen, maybe putting him in that long relief role where he had success last year? Who knows? Who knows at this point? Dave Dombrowski, he's a man of many mysteries. I'm sure he's going to do stuff at the trade deadline. I know there's things that they can do at the trade deadline. I know they're probably going to bolster the bench depth because I think the bench depth just needs more, especially when you don't have Gene Segura for a very long time, and who knows how much longer Johan Camargo is going to be out for. So bench depth is definitely going to be very most needed. Bullpen depth as well. So yeah. That Tortorella time. Bring up Andrew Painter. I would love to call up Andrew Painter. I would love it. Dominating now down there. What is he in high A right now? What is it for Lakewood? I saw his stat. I think he had a 100-mile-an-hour strikeout or something like that. Clocking 100 miles on the gun. Having a nasty curveball slider. I would love to call up Andrew Painter. I can't wait for them. I can't wait for, Micah Bell, Andrew Painter. I can't wait for those guys. Those guys will be studs. They're going to be studs. I'm excited for those two. Sadly, it's going to be a little bit before those two get called up. Sadly. sadly. The Phillies do have some intriguing pitchers down in those lower ranks, though. Hopefully they do pan out, though. That's something that they desperately need. And that's what Dave Dombrowski, one of his goals was, with the way he is completely reshaping the minor league, everything down there. So hopefully it pans out. That's all you can hope for right now. But do have a game tomorrow. And basically, that's one of the better things about baseball. Julian says, sorry, gutless effort. I do not want to hear. They had to lose sometime. The offense, last two games going back to not hitting runners in scoring position. Too many guys who vanished for weeks. 2 losses coming to the Marlins. That's not, the thing I want to, see right there, Julian. That's the Negadelphian right there. That's, yes, it's, of course, I'm not saying it's not unacceptable. I'm saying I'm frustrated with this loss. And I'm not using that as an excuse. Not. Because the fundamentals were not there today. Got to find a way to bounce back. Got to find a way. Brian says, are there any pitchers in the minor leagues this year that we can bring up? I know there is a guy down in AAA that is more of in the relief role. I think his name is Nick Abel or something, Nick Appel or something like that. Okay, Julian. We've been miserable for decades, but does that take away from a 9-game winning streak? No, it doesn't. 9-game winning streak. It was a fun time. Got to see what this team can do. Yeah, they're still in improvement mode. They are. Not saying that. But, Sean says, last question. How the hell is Norwood still on this team? I have no idea. Jose Alvarado? I have no idea. Sean saying, where do we pick in the first round of this draft? I think it's in the mid rounds or part of the first round. It's got to be between like 10 and 17, I believe, for the Phillies. If I can see the MLB draft order this year. Let's see. Not entirely sure. It has to be in the mid tier of the draft, more like in between 10 and 7. Yeah, exactly 17. Okay, so the Phillies pick 17th overall on the draft. So you definitely get to see what happens there. What does Dave Dombrowski do? Does it go for another pitcher or something like that? Let's see what the mock draft says, actually. So we go to, let's see, Draft Tracker, maybe? That's definitely not what I wanted to go to. Draft Central, mock draft, top 200 prospects. That's not what I wanted to see. Let's see. Okay, never mind. These are the draft eligible prospects. So we look to Drew Jones, especially expected to go first overall, son of Andrew Jones. Jackson Holiday, son of, Matt Holiday, I believe. Let's see, 17. So right here around, there's a lot of pitchers that are expected around the 17 range. Dylan Lesko, right-handed pitcher out of Buford. Brandon Barreria, left-handed pitcher out of American Heritage, which I'm assuming is a high school. Robbie Snelling, a left-handed pitcher out of McQueen in Nevada. Jackson Ferris, left-handed pitcher out of IMG Academy. Cole Young, a shortstop. Chase DeLauder, an outfielder. Gabriel Hughes from Gonzaga. There's options. Maybe he goes back to the starting pitching route. Who knows? Yeah, April. That's who I was thinking of right there. Morales. Yeah, I think they will bring up some of these guys eventually. But yeah, at this point, you just got to wait and see. Got to wait and see what happens. Best player available in the draft. I think that's most likely what Dave Dombrowski would do. I think that's basically where they go. Best player available at that point. Brian says, do you think this team is good enough with the players right now and the pitching they have to make a run of the world? No, I don't. I don't think they're good enough right now. Good enough to make the playoffs. Wild card spot, still an option. I think they can sneak into a wild card spot. That's what I stressed at the early part of the season. I saw this team. I didn't see them as a, for a D division because of the Mets and the Braves going early on. I thought they can sneak into the second or third wild card spot. Right now, that's still possibly an option right now. Because if we look at the standings currently for baseball, we have wild card East, the National League. Padres, of course, they hold the first wild card spot. Braves, they hold the second one. Giants, third wild card spot, tied with the Brewers. Phillies are 3 games out of the wild card spot, behind the Brewers and the Giants. So there's still plenty of time right there. Sean says, saw some of those guys featured on MLB Network yesterday. Combine was this weekend. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I think the draft is probably pretty soon, actually. When is the MLB draft this year? It's in July, actually. July. So, yeah, there's definitely a lot of stuff right there that we have to wait for upcoming. So, a lot of things that we can wait for with this Phillies team. But we do have a game tomorrow. Miami Marlins. Aaron Nola on the mound. Try to get a win. Try to get a bounce back. Prove to us that you beat the Miami Marlins. Take this loss. Try to go on another stretch of winning. Like I said, doesn't have to be a 9-game win streak. 5 out of 6. 6 out of 8. 7 out of 9, maybe. Some of the a stretch like that. 4 out of 5. 4 out of 6. You can't go 9-game winning streak, lose 3, 4, 5 in a row. Got to go on a consistent stretch of winning here. Let's see if you can prove it to us. So, it's going to do it for this video, everyone. I appreciate everyone here that joins the live stream. As always, do not forget to leave a comment in the comment section. I like to see those as always as well. Don't forget to check out everything in the description below. Painted Lines, TTP BrodesMedia, actually, and everything else down there below. I definitely recommend it. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and also don't forget to use the code TTPSports for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek, everyone. And I